Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss Nigel Farage's attempts to explain away the fact that, as he claims himself, he was too stupid to work out how to vote yesterday. So shorter one here, but I couldn't let this go, it's too funny. Nigel Farage and his band of miserable millionaires, plus Neanderthal, the mascot, all made a big show of going to shake things up in Parliament. Well, speeches and questions are fine, but the easiest record to check for an MP, if you don't want to trawl through Hansard and read all the flannel, is the voting record. And Nigel Farage doesn't have one. He claims he tried to vote, managed to get himself to the right place, so he says, but then couldn't work out how to actually vote, you know, with the signs and everything. He put this down to, like new kid at school excuse. Except, of course, a few little small flaws in his explanation. First of all, a new kid at school is mentored. You get someone to buddy up with them, show them the ropes. Well, as it happens, Nigel Farage chose Neanderthal to be Reform UK's chief whip. And what is the job of chief whip? To make sure people in the party vote and vote the right way. And 30p Lee has been an MP 4.5 years. He knows how it's done. Why didn't they all go along as a group so their chief whip could show them how to vote? Incidentally, Anderson didn't vote either, nor did any of the others, so I think they were all just in the House of Commons bar. We know they were on the estate because they made sure to have their say in the chamber, you know, so they could clip it for social media. They just didn't get around to voting. Because they were not the only new MPs. Like, over half the MPs in this parliament, I think, are actually new. And the rest seem to manage fine. So what is it about Reform UK MPs, and Nigel Farage in particular, that means they're too thick to work the process out when loads of other brand new MPs, many of them way younger, could work it out easily? And it also means that Nigel Farage takes very little interest in parliamentary matters. I've never set foot in the House of Commons or any part of the parliamentary estate. Might sound weird for someone with my long-standing obsession with politics. I don't care about bricks, mortar, statues or stained glass windows. I care about what happens inside, and there are easy ways to find out what happens inside without having to go inside. But I knew you needed to scan your card to vote these days. So I was going, no, you need to scan my card. What do you think the card scanner and all the signs saying scan your card are for? Why didn't he know, even before he'd ever gone into the voting lobby? I know, never been anywhere near the place. Well, I've been near the place. I've never been in the place. I mean, he's not only stood for Parliament and attempted to do so 7 times before his 8th time was a success, but he reckons he's going to shake things up with his 5 or 6 MPs out of 650. Now, if you're going to take on Parliament whilst being outnumbered 100 to 1, where the power comes from voting, I mean, that's a challenge and a half, that is. You'd think you'd at least have detailed understanding of how things work way beyond the level of, do I actually know how to vote? You know, the primary role of an MP. And it never ceases to amaze me that populists get to, you know, they react in the way Farage did. I mean, it's like, he's perfectly happy to take to Twitter and essentially say, oh, I was too stupid to do what loads of other new MPs found easy. Oh, but you should still trust that I've got the answers to the most complex challenges facing the country and indeed the world. I'd be embarrassed. I'd try to conceal the fact that I failed to vote. I'd actually say I was in the bar, couldn't be asked to vote, there was no point. I mean, coming out with it, go, oh yeah, sorry, I was too stupid. Only cult leaders get away with that. Normal political leaders would be crucified for being caught out so incompetent. Remember, the main reason people said they wouldn't vote Tory in the last election was because they were incompetent. It wasn't ideology. We had this huge survey, I talked about it recently. It was a basic issue of competence. People like Farage get to fail hard and his supporters still think he's great. And if you point out the failure, oh, that's actually someone else's fault. He's not actually that stupid, you know. But this also reminds me of another serious point, like about what I would say is the most profound change in my political attitude of my life. I've talked about this before from time to time. So after the 2019 general election, there was also an influx of new MPs, mostly Tory MPs in this case. And I was surprised to hear that loads of them were confused in the debating chamber. You know, they saw MPs waving their order papers about and they were going, what's going on here then? And I thought, have these guys become MPs having never actually watched parliamentary debates before? Because one thing I used to assume as a little kid growing up, and much more interested in politics than is probably good for me, was I thought MPs must be the creme de la creme of the political world. I mean, you've got to satisfy loads of people in your party that you are some sort of political genius, and then convince the electorate of much the same thing to get elected to Parliament. But as time wore on and I saw the incontrovertible evidence of mass stupidity amongst more than just one or two MPs and getting more involved in party politics, I just came to realise, no, there's just a load of safe seats where you don't need to try all that hard to win. So people just promote as their candidate useful idiots or people who seem to chime with their prejudices. MPs are not only not the creme de la creme, some of them are all ignorant of politics than the average voter. Mind you, even after I came to that realisation, it was very many years. I'd never imagined we'd get to the point where someone could reach the position of Prime Minister from that group. I thought at least the cream will rise within Parliament. Rishi Sunak has since disavowed me of that notion, that remaining thread of confidence in the system. But Farage will get away with this act of stupidity. This is why he can boast about it. Too stupid to make sure his candidates were vetted. Has tried for a week to get a meeting with his good friend, the orange one, and failed. And now he's failed even to record a vote in Parliament. And it'll not even have caused his cultists to pause for thought, to even consider, oh, maybe this guy doesn't have all the answers after all. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe for further content and click the like button. You can also sign up for memberships if you'd like to support the channel further. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later.